Katrina, are you on?
I hear somebody
Somebody
who's
from
on.
Haslett? Oh, there's Thad.
Yeah, I hear Paul.
I can't hear anything.
Can you hear me, Paul? Not yet. Testing 1, 2.
Now I hear you.
Okay, there you go.
Somebody else is speaking, Thad. I don't hear anybody else. I just heard you.
We were, it was just us talking internally about getting ready to start, Paul. I'll make sure Stuart pushes his button when he starts officially.
You hear me, Paul?
Okay.
This conference will now be recorded.
Craig, are you online? Can you hear us? Yes, if y'all, gentlemen, if y'all can hear me, y'all will need to turn cameras on for your votes to count today. You can still participate in the meeting, but for your votes to count, the rule is y'all have to be visible and audible in the chamber.
Well, this is Paul Wallach. I mean, are Craig or I going to either one of us have to vote today for anything?
It's up to you. I mean, yes, financials and those types of things, y'all would both be voting today because we have 3 in the chamber and you and Craig are showing online and Jim and Bernard are not here. So y'all would both be voting. But again, for that to count, you have to be visible.
That's fine. Okay.
Okay, well then we'll go ahead and open then the meeting of the Type A Haslett EDC
We see you, Paul.
at 11:36. We have a quorum present. Item number 2, virtual meeting practices today will be certainly in play, and that we have 2 people that are in the meeting that are on the board that are on by phone. Please make sure that your speakers are muted unless we're taking a vote or you're speaking, please. And the other items relative to the protocol we've been using for off and on for the last year and a half. Item number 3, items of community interest. The Volunteer Appreciation Banquet is Saturday, April 30th at 6 at Heritage Baptist Church. Katrina, when do we need to say whether we're going to be able to make that date? Okay.
We will send an invitation, and then you can RSVP to the invitation, but those have not gone out yet.
Okay. The Carter Blood Drive is Friday, March 11th at the Haslett Library parking lot from 1 to 4. Any other items of community interest? Okay. Item number 4, discuss and consider an act to approve the meeting minutes of our meeting January 26th of 22.
This is Candy. I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from the January 26th, 2022 meeting.
This is Stuart. I'll second that. Brenda?
Agree.
Paul?
Agreed.
Craig? Okay, the motion carries. Item number 5, discuss, consider, and act regarding the financial statements presented as of January 22nd. Is that supposed to be today? Okay.
We are, again, as construction in the area continues at a very quick pace. We're at 33% of the fiscal year out through January and at 85% of projected collections. So once again, y'all are extremely healthy on sales tax, not only balance in your reserve fund, but the rate at which it is coming in as well. You do see there's one item on there that looks a little odd, and that is the Haslett Parkway project. Those are lagging from last year. Apparently they got caught up between October and the audit, and they just cleared in January. So they were anticipated expenses related to the right-of-way and engineering, but they didn't show up. So again, that's why that shows at 132% on page 10 of 25 in your financials. Other than that, things are going quite well. We're very busy without having to spend a lot of money. So I'll answer any questions you may have.
I'll make the motion that we accept the January 22 financial statements as presented.
I'll second it.
Candy? Paul?
Yes.
Craig, have you joined us? Motion carries. Item number 6, update on current EDC activity.
If you go to page 16 in your packet, you can see Intermodal Commerce Park is completely leased. I'm not going to update on that unless we get bigger, more information on those companies in there and what they're doing. But otherwise, they're just doing finish out in their spaces. That'll add a lot of revenue to the tax base as well, because all of that will be taxable, and it will help the TIF as well. So again, that was a big and fast addition. We've seen others sit around for a little while, but that one did not. I-35 frontage, this is going to be a constant battle. It was before Haslett Parkway began construction. Yes, sir.
Pat, just a real quick, just to help me clarify. Where's the Intermodal Commerce Park? Which one's that again?
Intermodal Commerce Park is actually at the very end of where Intermodal currently terminates down near Transport. So it will be at the intersection of the new Haslett Parkway and Intermodal Extension. So it's in that area just south of Michaels. Not Michaels.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah,
it is Michaels. Okay.
The huge building.
Yes.
There, yeah.
That's where we had the groundbreaking for Haslett Parkway, was in those parking lots.
Correct. Okay.
Last night at council, we have requested that NISD separate out the impact fee issue from the right-of-way. We're starting to get a lot of pressure. We're still within our contract, but we're starting to get a lot of pressure from TxDOT and Zachary for that second phase to be cleared so right-of-way, the franchise utilities can relocate. So again, the best solution there is we've asked their attorney to move rapidly to separate those issues. They've already received the credit for the value of that right of way as if that agreement were executed, even though it hasn't. So they seemed willing to do that for us, is just separate out those impact fees, and the city and school district can discuss that separately, and then they can get that right of way required for phase 2. The problem with NISD is they actually have one piece on one end of phase 2 and one piece on the other end of phase 2. They actually bookend the entire segment, so nothing can move until we resolve those two pieces, despite every other piece of right-of-way being done. And they've been made aware that they are now officially holding this up because we've got to get this separated, got to get it taken care of. Trevino's Craft Smokehouse, again, they have ended their pursuit. I think it really became obvious that this was not going to be a good first run for him to open a restaurant. So Dustin has, I think he's up in Jacksboro. Anyway, he's close to home. He's still operating, but the price offered for lease and the land, it did not work out. It was going to become way too expensive for him to make that work as someone who's never run a standalone restaurant. So despite the success of his food truck, he realized that was probably going to make him pretty cash poor if he pursued the real estate options on that. So he's still operating, just not here. So that's unfortunate, but it happens. Let's see, Getty Holdings, that is the project on Blue Mound. That was approved. The Type B board has approved to pay their annexation fee. The trade-off there is that they get some benefit by not being required to buy a fire water meter by coming in the city, and the city gains future access over some of those uses. So it's kind of a win-win. He doesn't have to spend a lot of money on a fire line and fire meter. And we, again, as a city, gain some control, especially as that redevelops over the long term. So there was and it's only $1,000, so they were okay with that one. Haslett Feed and Farm, we have an agreement in place. We're trying to close that property. Type B has an agreement in principle with Annette for her to buy that. You can see all the work she's already doing. She's gone off in good faith since that's already been approved by Type B and council. We just have to get that real estate deal closed now. So she's spending a lot of money putting in a commercial kitchen. All those salsas and dip are currently being made at a different facility, and she'll be able to do all of that here. And so we're really excited about that opportunity. And currently, that's all I have, unless you have questions. Is that the Haslett Parkway? I'm not over the construction, but Type B had requested David provide an update on that project, so I wanted to include it in your packet as well. Construction is moving along on schedule. If y'all see it at all from your houses or as you're driving on 35, you can see that they are on schedule and moving very quickly through the project up to the edge of phase 1, which is at the edge of the old elementary property, short of Schoolhouse Road. And again, I discussed the phase 2 right-of-way issue. Again, if those utilities can't get out by October, there may be an issue on having to work with the contractor on scheduling. He may have to remobilize his utility group. We've also requested from TxDOT that contract. They just keep telling us things, and they keep telling us things are deadlines. And then if the deadline slides, like the NISD right-of-way, they say, well, that's not the actual deadline. So we have respectfully requested the actual contract between TxDOT and Zachary, which should be a public document, and we have not received that to date. So not a big organization, not great at sharing. So we hope to find out what those deadlines are, any risks that exist with additional costs or anything on the phase 2 as we try and get these other issues resolved. So we're actively working those, and we do still hope that TxDOT will show us that contract so we know if October is truly when Zachary needs to be able to begin construction on phase 2, or they can charge penalties. So we'll find out. And that's really all I had. I mean, David had some great pictures in there of the work that's been going on. And if y'all have any questions, he does an update for council, but I don't mind, continuing to ask him for his reports. Or if y'all have specific questions, y'all can email me or David, and we'll answer them as we get them.
All right, well then the next item on the agenda is our executive session. So we'll close the regular meeting at